Hello and welcome to Games from Folktales, a podcast that mixes historical research and tabletop role-playing settings. I'm your host, Timothy Ferguson, and you may be thinking, why do I have an extra episode this week? This is not an advert. That being said, I'm giving you an extra episode so that I can mention Magonomia. I'm still getting used to pronouncing the word. Magonomia is a Kickstarter that has been launched by some of the alumni from the Ars Magica writing team. In a quick conflict of interest, if it funds, I will be writing some of their stretch goals. And it's a game of Renaissance wizardry. It doesn't use Ars Magica's noun and verb system, and it uses wizardry from the time, rather than Ars Magica's more high fantasy wizardry. But it allows us to start mining, without filing the serial numbers off, for some of the folklore that appeared somewhat later than we usually use in the Ars Magica period. The other thing is that because Magonomia is set in England, well, it's set in the realm of Queen Elizabeth, at least in its initial publications. This allows us to do something slightly different with fairies. So when I reworked fairies conceptually, I used the idea that they were the spirits of borderlands, of liminal states. One of the advantages of this is that it allows us to take widely dispersed cultural traditions and put them in the same category. So you can put djinn and ghular and sprites all in the same group. In Magonomia, because it's geographically more isolated, the fairy traditions are more coherent, which means that you can be rather more exact about what fairies are. So to celebrate the launch of Magonomia, I'd just like to share with you something from LibriVox. The following is a Churn supper song. Churn suppers are an English tradition, I believe, from the north of England, and they celebrate the return of the harvest. To celebrate the end of the harvest, the landlord would pass around a churn of cream to be shared as a luxury by all of the people who'd done field work. Now, when you listen to this churn song, you'll notice that it's a spell, and one of its functions is that when fairies are attendant at the churn song, they are welcome, but after they've participated, they're unable to harm anyone who's at the churn supper while they're on their way home. This recording was released into the public domain by LibriVox. Thanks again to the entire LibriVox team. Please check out the Magonomia Kickstarter. URLs are terrible in the podcast format, but it will be in the show notes, and you can find it by web searching anywhere Ars Magica fans hang out online, or checking the blog which accompanies this podcast. Your usual episode is still coming on Thursday my time. I believe it's a fairy serial killer, also from an Old English drinking song.
The Craven Churn Supper Song. In some of the more remote dales of Craven, it is customary at the close of the hay harvest for the farmers to give an entertainment to their men. This is called the Churn Supper, a name which Eugene Aram traces to the immemorial usage of producing at such suppers a great quantity of cream in a churn, and circulating it in cups to each of the rustic company, to be eaten with bread. At these churn suppers the masters and their families attend the entertainment and share in the general mirth. The men mask themselves and dress in a grotesque manner, and are allowed the privilege of playing harmless practical jokes on their employers, etc. The Churn supper song varies in different dales, but the following used to be the most popular version. In the third verse there seems to be an allusion to the clergyman's taking tithe in kind, on which occasions he is generally accompanied by 2 or 3 men and the parish clerk. God rest you, merry gentlemen, be not moved at my strain, for nothing study shall my brain but for to make you laugh. For I came here to this feast for to laugh, carouse, and jest, and welcome shall be every guest to take his cup and quaff. Be frolicsome every one, melancholy none. Drink about, see it out, and then we'll all go home, and then we'll all go home. This ale it is a gallant thing, it cheers the spirits of a king, it makes a dumb man strive to sing, aye, and a beggar play. A cripple that is lame and halt, and scarce a mile a day can walk, When he feels the juice of malt, will throw his crutch away. Be frolicsome, every one, melancholy none. Drink about, see it out, and then we'll all go home, and then we'll all go home. 'Twill make the parson forget his men, 'twill make his clerk forget his pen, 'twill turn a tailor's giddy brain, and make him break his wand. The blacksmith loves it as his life, it makes the tinkler bang his wife, aye, and the butcher seek his knife, when he has it in his hand. Be frolicsome, every one, melancholy none. Drink about, see it out, and then we'll all go home, and then we'll all go home. So now, to conclude, my merry boys all, let's with strong liquor take a fall, although the weakest goes to the wall, the best is but a play. For water it concludes in noise, good ale will cheer our hearts, brave boys, then put it round with a cheerful voice, we meet not every day. Be frolicsome, every one, melancholy none. Drink about, see it out, and then we'll all go home, and then we'll all go home. LibriVox recording by Rita Louise, 2019, Ann Arbor, Michigan.